If you are a business owner, I want you to listen up because you have the possibility to learn a few accounting hacks to save money, to track expenses, but most importantly, to actually increase revenue. Let me share with you our top hacks this year to actually make sure that you are running a profitable operation. The first thing you want to do here is to actually separate business and personal expenses. I don't care the kind of industry you're in. I don't care what stage your business in. I don't care how profitable or, like it doesn't really matter. You want to really segregate business from personal expenses. That's going to help you big time. And the way you do this, you want to obtain your EIN from the IRS, your employer identification number, and you want to use that number to actually open a business bank account. Okay, that's going to help you big time. Now, when it comes to let's say legal liabilities, if you are able to segregate business from personal expenses, you are going to be covered by the corporate veil. In other words, something were to happen, the judge is not going to really, let's say, have a decision against you because against your personal assets. Only the business assets will be touched, will be exposed if something were to happen. So make sure you separate business and personal expenses. That's very important in the long run. And it doesn't matter if you have an LLC, an LLP, an S corporation, or a C corporation. The second thing you want to do here is to actually get bookkeeping software and a bookkeeper. So the thing is that bookkeeping software can really help you out if you want to DIY things, if you want to do things yourself. But if you don't want to really waste your time, quote unquote, waste your time with bookkeeping, just get a bookkeeper. A bookkeeper is way cheaper than an accountant because a bookkeeper doesn't need to have an accounting degree, but just needs to understand the basics of accounting. Okay, like journal entries, double entry accounting, that kind of stuff. Okay, debits and credits. But if you do not want to have a bookkeeper full time or part time in your business, just get software. You can get a very light version of QuickBooks, for instance, or FreshBooks for that matter. So that's really the best version. The best route for you right now. If you are trying to look for accounting hacks to actually reduce expenses or boost profits, I want you to develop a budget. A budget is going to help you big time because a budget is going to really give you a bird's eye view of your business, let's say 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or even a year from now. The thing is that a budget is usually for a period that's under 1 year, whereas a forecast is actually it could be for multiple months. But by developing a budget, you are basically trying to acquire, you are going to acquire some discipline. See, the thing is that it's not the budget that's going to help you big time. It's actually the process of developing a budget that's going to instill in you a sense of discipline, a sense of resilience, a sense of goal setting, a sense of decision making. Okay, so when you think about having a budget, you are basically having a list of anticipated expenditures and then comparing that budget to actual expenses and revenues. That way, you can see whether you have you went over the budget or under the budget or just at the budget. Next, you want to keep accurate business records. That's important. If you want to really have a great accounting hack as a small business owner, you have to really make sure that your business records are accurate. Not just because they give you a clear idea of where you are at profit-wise, but also in the eyes of the IRS, a business that keeps accurate business records is really cool. It's really compliant, but also trustworthy. Okay, and so when I speak about having accurate business records, I'm speaking about things like gross receipts, expenses, and fixed assets, among other things. So gross receipts actually are the income you receive from your business, and records include cash register tapes, deposit information, so cash and credit sales, receipt books, invoices, and forms 1099 miscellaneous. Expenses actually are the costs that you incur to operate your business, and here the records include canceled checks, and other documents reflecting proof of payment, electronic funds transferred, cash register tape receipts, account statements, credit card receipts, and statements and invoices. Fixed assets, actually here you have records such as purchase and sales invoices, real estate closing statements, canceled checks, or other documents that identify payee, amount, and also proof of payment or electronic funds transferred, among other things. If you are a business owner, an important accounting hack for you to remember this year is to actually pay attention to the accounting method that you go by, that your business goes by. When it comes to accounting method, you have accrual and you have the cash method, right? But you want to go with accrual because the accrual is actually the method that allows you to comply with something called U.S. GAAP, but also IFRS. U.S. GAAP stands for United States Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, and IFRS actually is a set of accounting standards at the international level, and IFRS stands for International Financial Reporting Standards. Either way, you want to really go with the accrual method. Now, the accrual method is actually quote unquote a bit more complicated, or at least let's just say it demands more work than the cash method. Cash method is pretty straightforward, not a problem. Okay, so but you can always choose the cash method if you gross less than $25 million in annual gross receipts for the 3 prior tax years. Okay, that's really important. But either way, just go with the accrual. Okay, you want to keep the books up to date. If you're looking for an effective accounting hack for small business owners, keep the books up to date. Now, without keeping the books current, owners and employees don't have a clear picture of the company's financial state. So automating receipt and invoice capture is actually one way to ensure the books are always up to date. And you want your company's book to be always up to date. You also want to link bank accounts with your accounting software, whether it is QuickBooks, FreshBooks, or Wave or Xero or have you. Now, if your business can actually download credit card and bank statements and manually actually import them as a CSV, let's say Excel, but some accounting systems offer a plugin that will pull information from your bank account and automatically retrieve daily bank transactions and statement files. So that's kind of cool. And now your business can define the matching rules in its system to reconcile the statements, which makes the reconciliation process a lot easier. If you're looking for accounting hacks as a small business owner, I want you to really think also about accounts payable, but also accounts receivable. So here I'm talking about optimizing accounts payable terms as well as invoicing. So to actually hold on to cash longer, take advantage of credit terms from key suppliers, pay bills on a schedule that maximizes your cash flow, and when possible, pay early with vendors that offer a discount for doing so. Now you have the possibility to actually seize opportunity in terms of credits by actually having a business line of credit. So a business line of credit is actually cash that sits there and that you can use when you really need it. Okay, and so to ensure steady cash flow, do everything possible to encourage on-time payments from customers. So that could include offering discounts for early payments, running credit checks on potential customers before doing business with them, and, when necessary, revoking credit terms. So again, I'm talking here about making sure you're paying attention to accounts payable, but also accounts receivable. Accounting software that can automate invoicing processes by automatically sending out bills and follow-up reminders could also help prevent outstanding invoices from actually piling up, and that's what you want. You do not want those invoices to pile up. You also want to separate accounting functions. A little earlier, I was telling you to separate the personal from business expenses. Now I'm asking you to segregate the accounting functions. So if you're a small business, things are not really that strict, but just in general, public companies must follow regulations that require controls to ensure segregation of duties. So if you're a small business, You have to understand that because you're more likely to have a single person handling many accounting functions, this could create an environment that introduces risk of accounting fraud. But you can minimize this risk by putting some simple controls in place. And one effective control is to ensure that the same person who gets the check doesn't sign the checks and reconcile the bank statements. That's an important element to think about. If you're looking for, let's say, an effective hack as a small business owner, I want you to keep an eye on certain high cost expenses. So when I speak about high cost expenses, I'm talking here about the expenses that can really bring down your revenue, not your revenue, bring down your liquidity. So labor costs are the largest expenses for small businesses, and inventory is often another. Maybe in your business right now the expenses are different, but usually you have labor and inventory are two of the top expenses. To reduce labor expenses, you want to really outsource, for instance, work to contractors that bill at an hourly rate. This can be cheaper because the contractors may not need 40 hours a week to complete your work, and they don't require benefits. Time tracking software can help you understand how much certain tasks are costing the business, enabling the business to better budget and find ways to control those expenses. So that's kind of cool. And you can also lower inventory cost by tracking inventory carrying cost, inventory turnover ratio, amount lost to obsolete inventory, and other key metrics. You also want to plan for major investments. So the same way you are planning for one-off expenses, you want to plan for major investments, because those investments are actually sources of cash outflow. So if you want to avoid a situation of negative cash flow, you got to really think about the major cash outflows. So by consistently tracking expenses and revenue, your business can identify the best time for large investments and establish the credit it may need to cover the cost. So business credit cards can help your organization establish a credit history so that it has a better chance at, let's say, qualifying for financing and optimal financing terms, including lines of credit and loans when it needs more capital. So securing these funding sources are really important to your company's overall financial health, right? Because according to research, 45% of businesses actually receive. The businesses that have an excellent financial credit usually, let's say, what I'm trying to say here, the 45% to 50% of businesses that have excellent financial health, they received loans or credit cards from a bank or credit unions, okay, as opposed to, let's say, 3% of companies with poor or below financial health. So that's really important to show you the importance of good credit. One thing you want to do also is to carefully monitor tax preparation. So an accounting hack as a small business owner is to look at your tax preparation, let's say from A to Z. The IRS generally requires that sole proprietors, partners, and S corporation shareholders make estimated tax payments if they expect to owe taxes of $1,000 or more when their return is filed. Okay. Now, there are specific employment tax records you must keep. For instance, detailed IRS resources that are actually changing all the time. And the IRS provides worksheets in Form 1040-ES, Estimated Tax for Withdrawals, or Form 1120-W, Estimated Tax for Corporations, that really help create estimated tax. You also want to, whenever possible, I want you to really think about seeking actually a tax preparation guidance. And because it's important to understand that if you're a small business, you got to really think about expanding your business. You got to think about running your business. And if you don't want to really focus too much on tax or accounting, you can just outsource the whole thing. Or you can just reach out to a professional, a CPA, or another professional. It can be a professional bookkeeper too. Next, you want to ensure inventory data is accurate. So to prepare financial statements, Your business needs accurate inventory data, so you must calculate the cost of goods sold in the business, that is, cost of goods sold for the income statement and the value of inventory on hand for the balance sheet. Now, if you have a proper accounting software, this thing should be taken care of automatically. Now, you want to track physical inventory either by manually counting items on a regular basis or pairing accounts with an inventory management system that can automatically adjust the numbers as sales happen if it's integrated with a point of sale system and accounting software. So that's going to help you actually streamline your data, your accounting data. Now, inventory management software not only makes it much easier to track inventory, but the information actually will also be more accurate, especially if you have multiple units. Let's say you have multiple units across more than one warehouse. Then you need to really automate things. If you're looking for effective accounting hacks as a small business owner, you want to use financial statements to actually evaluate business performance. So login expenses and income are the basis for generating the three key financial statements: income statements, balance sheets, and statement of cash flow. Now there is a fourth statement that is not really that popular. That's the statement of owner's equity. So basically, income statements will help your business determine the profit or lack thereof. A balance sheet will show assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equities. Actually, for a snapshot of its financial position, a balance sheet will actually show your company's financial position at a certain point in time. And the cash flow statement actually shows whether the company has enough money flowed into and out of it in any given business period, and how much cash remains. That way, you have a clear idea whether you have enough to actually survive, to actually run your operations. You also want to generate financial projections, and that's actually the last hack I want to share with you in today's conversation. So basically, the same way I explained the fact that budgeting is going to help you big time, forecasting is going to consolidate actually your financial position. So financial projections will help your business estimate future income and expenses to anticipate if you need, let's say, financing or should make capital expenditures. So financial forecast will help your business run operations smoothly, but also help you as a business leader estimate cash flow and determine when to change pricing or production plans. So forecasts provide important financial information to external stakeholders when your business will seek, let's say, a loan or funding, all kinds of funding, business loan or credit also, or if the business is the target of an acquisition. That way, investors or the parent company or the company that could potentially acquire you will have a better idea what your business, the target company, is actually running in terms of operations. And your company can also use forecasts to create pro forma financial statements, which are projected income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. Projections actually are based on financial modeling techniques and provide the answers to questions that may come from lenders, investors, or other business stakeholders. And so at the very basic level, those projections provide the answer to a question like, if we lend to you, what will you do with the cash, and how will you pay us back? In conclusion, in today's conversation, I shared with you our top 15 accounting hacks for small business owners. I shared with you the top hacks and now the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.